night my parents invited me to dinner after 3 years of complete silence, I thought I was finally getting my family back. I had no idea I was actually walking into the most expensive trap they had ever planned for me. By the time the check arrived, one declined credit card would expose a secret they had spent weeks trying to hide, and my life would never be the same again. My name is Claire. I am 32 years old, and I manage operations for a successful restaurant company. I know exactly how restaurants work, from reservations to final checks, so I usually notice details that other people miss. After 3 years without a single phone call, my mother suddenly invited me to dinner at an upscale restaurant. She promised it would only be the 4 of us, my parents, my younger sister, and me. She said they wanted to heal old wounds and become a family again. Even though something felt strange, I still accepted because a small part of me missed the family I used to believe I had. The moment I walked into the restaurant, I realized I had been lied to. Instead of 4 people, 16 relatives were already seated around a huge table covered with lobster, premium steaks, expensive wine, and desserts. They had clearly been eating for over an hour before I arrived. Everyone welcomed me with fake smiles and applause as if nothing had happened during the past 3 years. My father greeted me with a grin that made my stomach tighten, because I knew that smile always meant he wanted something. 3 years earlier, my sister wanted to open a cafe and asked me to co-sign a $75,000 loan. I simply asked to see her business plan before risking my financial future. She had no plan, no research, and no experience. When I refused to sign, my parents accused me of abandoning the family. They cut me out of their lives that same day, removed me from every family chat, and never contacted me again. According to them, I cared more about money than my own sister, even though I had spent most of my adult life paying their bills, helping with emergencies, and rescuing everyone whenever they needed cash. Throughout dinner, my relatives kept making little comments about how successful I had become. They joked about how lucky I was while reminding everyone how difficult life had been for my parents. Every conversation pushed toward one conclusion without anyone saying it directly. They believed I had more than enough money, and they expected me to solve their problems once again. Then I accidentally discovered the truth. While visiting the restroom, I found my sister's phone on the counter with a family group chat open. One message from my mother said everything. "Do not tell Claire everyone is coming. When she gets here, she will never make a scene. She will pay." Another message from my father said I could cover their financial problems for months. In that moment, every fake smile, every compliment, and every expensive order suddenly made sense. They had never invited me back because they missed me. They invited me because they needed my wallet. Instead of arguing, I quietly found the restaurant manager. I explained that I was not hosting the dinner and asked him to place the entire bill in front of the person who had made the reservation, my father. I paid only for my sparkling water and left a generous tip for the hard-working waiter. Then I calmly returned to the table and waited. When dessert was finished, the waiter placed the check directly in front of my father. He confidently handed over his credit card, still believing I would rescue him if anything went wrong. Minutes later, the waiter returned with an apology. The card had been declined. My father tried another card, then another, but every payment failed. The room became painfully quiet, as every relative realized the truth. My parents were drowning in debt, and they had planned this entire reunion to force me into paying a bill worth thousands of dollars. My father looked at me and asked why I had done this. I calmly replied that I had done nothing. His bank had answered for him. Then I told everyone exactly what I had discovered on my sister's phone. I explained that this dinner had never been about forgiveness. It had always been about trapping me in front of the entire family so guilt would force me to pay. My mother started crying, my sister became furious, and several relatives looked away because they finally understood they had been part of the setup. I stood, picked up my purse, and told them something I had spent years learning. Helping family is a choice, never an obligation. Real love does not come with invoices, hidden plans, or public humiliation. If they truly wanted help, I would gladly sit down with a financial advisor and build a real recovery plan, but I would never again pay for manipulation disguised as family love. I thanked the young waiter for his professionalism, walked out of the restaurant, and drove home in complete silence. For the first time in my life, that silence did not feel lonely. It felt peaceful, A week later, one cousin apologized for everything, while my sister contacted me only to ask for more money. I politely refused and sent her information for financial counseling instead. That dinner changed my life forever. I finally understood that the most valuable thing I could protect was not my savings account, but my self-respect. The family that only loved me when I opened my wallet never truly valued me at all. Walking away without paying that bill was not an act of revenge.